hours to a concert.
Well, what was the concert?
NSP.
This is all I'm saying to you. It is our movie. It is a film festival. Steven is going. Your decision is up to you.
Do
they have a flights to Lexington, by the way?
Not direct.
What's the closest I can get?
You have to go to Atlanta and then to Lexington.
I don't care.
That is...
Dang.
Or Detroit and then Lexington.
Well, whatever. I mean, I can't drive 3 hours if this idiot doesn't go.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to have to fly.
Hang on. Just let me figure this out.
All right.
Because I'm pretty sure we'll be able to resell... AJ will be able to resell those tickets. It was like
Well,
$100. But...
Yeah. StubHub. But I'm not
We are
telling
live.
you what to do. We are live.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah. My phone is dead, by the way, so someone else has got to pull the YouTube up and keep an eye on the chat.
And we have 43%.
I'm at 38.
You guys are
We
weak.
suck.
Yeah. Exactly. All of
The
y'all.
showrunner.
Anyway,
Listen, I'm expected to do everything here.
Yes, you are.
that's what show running is.
Yep.
Damn it. Are we ready?
Up cussing
Yep.
already.
We can say damn it. Damn it is acceptable. Let me just check our...
Damn it, Janet.
Damn it. I just want to check the mic and make sure
Oh,
we're
Black Betty,
using...
damn it.
Oh, Black Betty. Bam.
Damn.
I always love the "Oh, Black Betty, ambulance." You know that video?
That would be so funny.
Call ambulance. Oh, Black Betty, ambulance.
Yeah, we're on.
You stupid.
That's really funny, actually. Oh, Black Betty. That's gonna be in my head the entire show. And I'm gonna randomly in the middle going, ambulance.
So when you lean back like that, all you can see on the camera is your belly.
Best part of me.
the meat and potatoes. All right, here we go.
Any comments?
It's Culture Smash Cast, episode 492 for May the 22nd, 2019. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of Culturesmash.tv.
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to Culturesmash.tv.
Zach Martin, an angry bag of emotions.
Nathan Savino, contributor to Culturesmash.tv.
All right.
Ambulance.
So like that.
All right, so we have a very important topic to talk about, so we're going to get right into this. Let's do the weekend box office first real quick. Number 10 over the weekend was Ugly Dolls. It made $1.7 million, $17.4 million so far, a $45 million budget. Have you seen the animation for this film?
I've seen the
Yes.
trailer.
It looks like South Park. How did they spend 45?
And they got some big name actors.
I think that's that's where the budget is.
That's where the budget is. Yeah.
What was the budget for South Park the movie?
I don't know, but it looks like a TV commercial. The animation in this
They honestly this could have been a Disney Channel movie.
easily.
Yeah.
All right, number 9 is, and thanks to you guys.
The answer was $21 million.
For what?
South Park.
The movie.
All right.
That was like 20 years ago at this
It
point.
was, so it probably would be
Still
about
inflation.
the same.
Yeah.
Be about the same.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks to you guys, I know some of these movies. Like number 9, Palms. That one made $2 million, made $10 million so far. That is the
Is that the old lady one?
Old
where they
lady
start the
cheerleaders.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Number 8, opening new over the weekend. The Sun is also a star.
In other news, water wet.
Yeah, I don't know what this movie is.
It's I think a young adult romance movie.
Oh, is that what's up?
Yeah.
Fucking-
Sounds like a nature documentary.
2.5 million. There is the biggest little farm documentary that's nature. That one's out.
Oh crap! This
What?
is.
What?
It's a stupid romantic ass movie.
Well, that's what we just said.
A hopeless romantic.
Okay, we don't need to know.
About
Alright.
his future in med school falls for a. I don't care. I
Zach hates love.
That's true.
Zach
Romance movies suck.
Zach took that from me. Now he's the one who
They
hates
fall
love.
in love in like 2 days.
That's true.
Love at first sight.
Oh come on! Give me a romance movie where
Would you say
you
it's
check
a-
in after 6 months?
Would you say it's a long shot?
I would say it's a long shot at number 7.
Good one.
Made 3.3 million. It's made almost 26 million so far. No budget on that one. That's the Seth Rogen thing.
Yeah.
Romantic comedy also. Number 6 is The Intruder. It's $4 million over the weekend. It's made 28 million so far on an $8 million budget. And
That's so cheap.
what did we find? There's like a dozen other movies.
Yeah,
with
but
the same
it
names.
is.
Dennis Quaid doesn't bring in the numbers.
That's true. It is a horror movie, so it is cheap. It's still that I expected something more. So
Yeah,
This is like a 2-location horror movie. You get a house.
That's true too. Yeah.
And you got like a backyard.
Yeah,
And that's the
it's
part
all
that
the
I
outside
appreciate.
Sets. Yeah, it's very
Oh,
cool.
it was that movie?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
movie. All right, so number 5 is The Hustle. That opened?
That opened 2 weeks ago. Where were you?
Yeah, that's not new.
Oh. Is this the movie that's in our bidding? Was in our
No.
film ball?
No. I think it was.
No.
No, I don't
sure?
think The Hustle was in the film ball.
I don't think it was.
Is this the one with what's her name from
Garbage. It looks like garbage.
Glee? Not Glee. From the singing movie. You know, the blonde girl.
Wow, the singing movie.
The Sound of Music?
No, okay.
Jokes to
no,
Tricks in.
no.
That's
Listen.
Rebel Wilson.
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't this her?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
her.
So this wasn't our bidding.
wasn't
Somebody
it?
has this movie, so
Well.
I need to add this to our film ball numbers.
Okay.
And I know who has it, and it doesn't really help them right now. So we'll add it for next week. Number 4
The
is A
best
Dog's Journey.
movie on this list.
Yeah, that is Nico's movie. It made $8 million.
It was a gamble. It was the wild card.
It was a
The
wild
first
card draw. That's true.
You know what's funny about A Dog's Journey? So A Dog's Purpose, which is the prequel to this one,
I didn't even realize they were the same
they came out
franchise.
the same time as John Wick 2.
Yeah.
And now A Dog's Journey comes out the same
Wait,
weekend
really?
as John
Are they?
Wick
Is it a legit prequel, or are we just making fun of the title?
No, A
No,
Dog's
it
Journey is a sequel
Yeah,
to A Dog's
dude.
Purpose.
Yeah.
Wow, my mind is blown.
And that
Which-
one came
which
out
is
during John Wick
funny
2,
because-
and this one's John
And
Wick 3.
Dennis Quaid is in this movie.
A
too.
Dog's Purpose is
This is
literally
the second movie on this lineup.
the same plot as A Dog.
It looks exactly the
It
same.
is the same.
And
Wow.
then I was this person, and now I gotta be this person. But
And
this
then
person's
I
now
get old
special.
dog and I die.
And then
And
I
I
get
go on
shot
to
out
this
back.
one. And then I'm
for
reborn.
But now I
Born.
just keep getting reincarnated into the same family.
It's so terrible.
The next up is Zach's top movie.
Exactly. Pokemon Detective Pikachu made $25 million. You excited about those numbers, Zach? $94 million so
bad
far
numbers.
for 2 weeks.
I was expecting that to be
94
the
million for 2
weekend's
weeks is
numbers.
okay.
$150 million. Okay, we're gonna get to that.
It's okay.
No, is it okay if it's your main movie?
It's okay if it's
If it's
94
your-
million for 2.
It's
With that said,
mistakes were
I mean,
made.
it's
With that
close to the
said-
next one.
with that said, Zach does not have the worst game in film ball. We'll get to that. Number 2 is Avengers Endgame. Made another almost 30 million. It's made 771 million so far on a $356 million budget. And we kind of decided that budget's probably for both movies, right? Isn't that what we're thinking?
I mean, I would think so, but
Because they filmed them consecutively, right?
But
yeah.
also, you got to remember there's multiple people that are either in or really close to the $20 million club.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. being one of them.
Robert
Chris
Downey
Pratt.
Jr.'s in the $70 million.
Okay, so Chris Pratt is in the $20 million.
but
So,
isn't
so
most
that's
of his-
almost $100 million to the
But isn't
336.
isn't like most of Robert Downey Jr.'s money like post the movie because he gets a cut of the movie?
I mean,
I don't
if
know what
was
his-
Robert Downey Jr. I'd rather have 2% of.
Yeah, I think that's how he typically gets paid. Is, at this
waive
point.
my fee. I'll take 2% of the earnings.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, maybe he did that.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
It is. And the number 1 movie over the weekend was John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. It had a almost $57 million opening, which is a pretty big opening for this franchise.
yeah.
As for the budget on John Wick, let me pull that up here real quick.
Which
It's not-
Box Office Mojo does not have.
It's not listed on Box Office Mojo,
Which is what he just said.
But
Wow.
shut up! I'm pulling it up.
Is there an echo?
I have to delay. Wikipedia estimates the
He's so
budget at
smart.
55 million.
Which is probably about right. That
Yeah.
sounds about right. All right. Opening this weekend is Aladdin. It's at 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. Still going to make money. Brightburn. It's at 62% on Rotten Tomatoes. Still going to make money. And there's some movie named called Booksmart that's 99% on Rotten Tomatoes that probably won't make money.
Aladdin's not going to make the money you think it's going to make.
It's not. No, it's not. But it's going to make money. It's going to make live action Disney money.
Yeah, it just looks like.
I think it's going to be down there with Dumbo, one of the least.
Well, to be fair, we're getting into film ball now. I only paid $16 for it. So
I
it was a
think
good buy.
no, I think Aladdin's gonna make more money than Dumbo.
Oh, I think it will too.
Absolutely, I think. It will.
Yeah, totally.
I
Because
mean,
people,
not a lot, but
people have
totally.
more of a relationship with Aladdin than they do with Dumbo.
If it can get into the Beauty and the Beast money, then
Oh, it's
What,
not
$1
going to.
billion? Yeah.
It's not going to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
Beauty and
Yeah,
the
it'd be
Beast
good.
money.
But
We
I
will
think
see.
it'll definitely. I think it'll be closer to the Beauty and the Beast side than it will
Will
be
Smith
the
is
Dumbo
not
side.
an Emma Watson.
We'll see.
that's true. But they both have to have help, auto-tune help to sing.
This is completely true, and you can hear it.
All right, so let's get into film ball. I have actually this is one of those times
you
where the previous game is complete.
Oh my God.
All of the movies in the previous game have hit their 4 weeks, so these numbers are final
We
numbers.
already
cares?
know the
Who
winner.
cares?
We already
Yeah,
no one cares.
we do. We know that I won this because of having
I'm
Avengers.
gonna check Facebook because I know you won this.
I didn't post it.
No, he's just browsing.
So, I actually won the game with 771 million.
We know. We just said the number.
But who came in second?
Who?
Who?
Me, totally me. It's
Who?
me all
Zach?
the way.
Zach came in second at 422
Hell
million.
yeah, bitches!
400 how much?
422.
There is a $350 million discrepancy between first and second place.
The rest of the game is really close. Ada came in third
Okay.
with 353 million.
Does that mean I get the trophy?
No,
No,
it's
sir.
trophy.
You wish. All right.
We don't have to worry about the trophy getting broken.
Exactly. We want to make sure the other beak is not broken off of it. So next is Nathan, finally, number 4.
That's fine.
194
I'm not
million.
Oh,
last.
that's not bad.
Yeah. So then below Nathan is Nico at 147.
Honestly, that's better than I expected.
Yep. Then Catherine at 141. Then Tina at 137 and Hector at 135. And at the very bottom is Mike at 46.
Wow.
46
From last
million.
to first place? That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Pour one out for Mike.
So I didn't put all the numbers in yet because for the new game, because the only one that matters right now is Zach at $151 million in our current game. Now, both of Zach's primary movies are out right now.
And they're doing a little bit less than
They're-
I thought.
Detective Pikachu and John Wick 3, Zach's game.
Wow.
You also have
I think Detective Pikachu is going to have some staying power.
yeah, but
It's the most.
we only care
We
about the
only
first
first
4
4
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah, it's true,
Yeah.
but for the I think it's going to stay consistent in its general area for the next through 2
weeks.
weeks.
Probably.
Because it's until Aladdin, it's the most kid-friendly, acceptable thing to take a family to.
True. So Zach, do you have high hopes for Secret Life of Pets Part 2? Because that is your other movie.
It's also a good movie.
I mean, it's Illumination.
Yeah.
What is that?
They do make
And
money.
they're
So,
garbage. But
The one, as I was reviewing the numbers and putting the spreadsheet together, the game that I was most shocked about is Nathan's game.
Why?
Because your game is terrible.
Why is my game terrible?
I'm gonna
Do I
win
need to get
Nate.
the list?
If I beat Nathan,
Let me get the
can
list.
Can I consider that a win?
If what?
If I beat Nathan, can I consider that a win?
I will consider it a win if I
First
don't
off, I
place
have
him
my own
last.
list. But wait,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like looking at the movies and I'm like, holy crap. What happened to Nathan?
What?
happened to you, sir?
Mistakes?
Aw, Angel Has Fallen and Godzilla.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Worst.
Yeah.
Godzilla is pretty much the only real moneymaker on that
Yeah,
one.
Ma is not going to make money.
No.
Okay.
And I think Battle of the Monsters.
20 millions and a.
Yeah, I do take that back. I think I-
125.
Battle of the Monsters is going to make money.
It won't make money, but I do think I may have a better game than. I don't know. Actually, no. I take that back. I am roughly in the same boat because I've been in black.
Yeah.
Dora, which may make some money, but I mean, Dora is Dora the Explorer even on? Like, when's the last time new episodes of that came out?
I don't know.
honestly don't know.
No, and this is not even animated. It's live
No, it's
action.
I
but the main
think,
part is
though-
like if it doesn't have a current fan base.
Yeah.
You got two things going for you. You got Chris Hemsworth in the Men in Black
Sure.
franchise.
I think that movie is my is definitely going to make money. But Brightburn, unfortunately,
To
is not
answer-
great on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
To answer your question, the last episode was 2014.
See? And so
Yeah.
it's got no current fans, so why? And then also A Dog's Journey, and we see what that's doing right now.
We
So I don't know if I'm going to have a better or worse game than Nathan.
Yeah, it's going to be right
The
there.
only thing I was holding out for the wild cards because I knew the big ones were.
and the
Which
person,
is what I did,
and
too.
the person that screwed both of you guys' game that way was your lovely girlfriend
she
Tina,
does.
because she saved her money and bid up most of the wild card draws.
But it was great because she screwed up Zach's game the most.
The most.
Yep.
If you want to see something great, go back and look at the live YouTube stream, our
If
live
you want to
bidding.
hear angry yelling noise.
Because Zach thought he was bidding Tina up on that Tim John Wick.
Oh, it was so good.
It was the highlight of the night.
Speaking of John Wick, do we want to?
We're not going to talk about John Wick just
At all?
yet. No, because I want Nico
We
to
saw
have
it
seen
at the Dolby
it.
Cinema,
We did see the Dolby Cinema.
and our audience was great.
Our audience is great.
I'll see it.
Them black levels were beautiful.
I'll see it tomorrow in probably a much
Them colors.
lesser quality theater, but it will still be seen.
Yeah, so we will have a spoiler-filled discussion of John Wick 3 next week during the
Spoilers: bullets were fired.
bullets were fired.
Knives were thrown.
Knives were thrown, bullets were
Face-
fired.
You know,
We're
knives were involved in the next thing we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
too.
so we're going to move on to TV now because we are going to talk about a cultural milestone, which is the ending of Game of Thrones. We watched that over here. It was a good time. And Nathan, you missed
And I
it.
missed it because I had to work, but that's
As
okay.
did Zach, because Zach had better things to do, I guess.
I cooked a nice steak,
Yeah.
and no, we didn't have green beans. We had.
So if you want to know what I had for
Okay,
dinner
it's a-
that night, you had it earlier.
Pork loin.
You had more pork loin?
We had pork loin that night. That's
I
how
had-
Ada
I
refined
had
that recipe.
delicious rare steak.
Well, because you guys also had a pasta dish, because I had some of it when I came over.
Oh, that's right. You guys got some of the. That's actually what it was. Is that spicy pasta
it was
dish?
sriracha shrimp pasta.
Yeah, that was actually what
You
it was.
also didn't have me cursing at your screen because I was
That would've been
cursing
annoying.
at
Yeah,
it.
Tina is actually happy she had stuff to do tonight because she was afraid she was going to throat punch you tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does she not like logic? That's a shame.
No, I think it's
Well,
you.
yeah,
I think
she
it's
likes The Last Jedi,
I think it's
too.
primarily you.
Yeah, I don't think you guys would probably be that far apart.
Does she like Last Jedi?
Generally, is okay with it.
This is how I know she has bad taste.
That's not going to work
See,
out.
you
too
would've
well
stuck
in your
here
favor.
so I can trash
You
talk.
would already be throat
That's not
punched.
going to. Yeah,
Yeah.
Your
But she's not here, so I can do
your
that.
longevity's not going to go well.
The problem is you
She
have.
didn't listen to this. It's
But see,
fine.
you have 3 people who would like have so much pleasure in telling her what you did.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next
Yeah.
week.
That's fine.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I got time to write my will. It's fine.
All right. So how do you guys want to approach this conversation about the ending of Game
let
of
me
Thrones?
start with this story, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, go.
All right. So, Daenerys Targaryen actress Emilia Clarke has reacted to the infamous fan petition to remake Game of Thrones Season 8, giving her thoughts on what should have changed. In an interview with The New Yorker, Clarke had said she can only speak for her character and the people that she interacts with on the show, but she would have loved some more scenes with her and Miss Sunday. She also would have loved more scenes with her and Cersei. Expanding on those thoughts, Clarke said, I would have loved some more scenes between Grey Worm and Missandei. I would have loved to see a bit more between Cersei. I feel like the genocide was going to be there, that it was always going to happen, and I think more dissection of those beautifully written scenes between those characters would have been more beautiful. She would have liked to see more depth within characters rather than just rushing through.
What? Hold on. Logic from an no.
So you said this story that I gave you led into a thought that you already had. Is it? Do you want
The only downfall, if I were to look at this season as a whole, it was rushed. It was way rushed. They could have expanded upon just by adding 2 more episodes.
Real
for the
quick,
season.
does anyone have a problem with the acting this season?
No.
No.
Does anyone have
No.
a problem with the cinematography this season?
No.
No.
Not generally.
Actually, yeah, a lot of great cinematography in this.
yeah.
Good with some
I
exceptions.
don't even have anything with the writing.
Well,
Really?
I don't.
Does anyone? You don't have a problem with them saying fire instead of loose, which is bad writing.
What are you talking about?
When they got the scorpions, they're like fire. Why do you say fire?
That's true. They have not said fire the whole.
They have not said
8
fire the
seasons.
entire 8 seasons. Suddenly
Well,
they're saying fire.
Okay, so but the writing is
That's bad writing.
Yes, but the writing is a symptom of the rushed
nature of it.
season.
And I
HBO
think, and
came
then
to these writers and said, "Do you want a 10-episode season? We will absolutely fund it." They go, "No." George R.R. Martin said, "Y'all should probably take your time with this." They said, "No." I fully blame the writers for any and all.
And
issues
you
with
wanna
this
know what
season.
the- and you wanna know what I-
specifically the main two, the showrunners,
Yes,
Weiss
David and
and
Weiss.
Benioff.
Yeah.
And
and I think it 100% comes from them getting the Star Wars offer.
Yes,
I really do.
absolutely.
they want out. They want out of the. And to be fair, we
Hand
also
it off to someone who cares.
we also don't know to the extent that anybody else in the show, like any of the cast, wants out. Like for instance, if Peter Dinklage wants out, you're screwed.
Show's over.
Yeah,
Show's over.
So there could we don't know the
but
extent
no
that the
one,
cast wants
no
out.
one has come out and said that they were ready for it to be done.
That's
Everybody
true.
has said the opposite.
Everybody's put up a really good face of we're gonna miss everybody and the family and all being together. They've done a really good job keeping that front, and it entirely might be legitimate. I'm just positing that it may not just be them that want it out, but it is entirely on them for rushing it out.
Because here's the reality. I said the show would be over, but at the same time, the scene where they killed that character off would be epic.
Okay, we can get spoiler territory. So
we're
Spoilers
spoiling.
for Game of Thrones.
But I'm just saying, if Peter Dinklage said, I need to be out, and they killed him, that would have been epic.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It would have been mind-blowing.
It would have been mind-blowing. Everyone in the
I mean, story-wise, even it's like, that's the last of the Lannisters.
although I do gotta wonder, there may have been some dictation on HBO's end of, okay, you can kill a lot of characters. You cannot kill Peter Dinklage and Peter Dinklage. Don't kill Peter Dinklage because they knew who their star was of the show.
And I don't feel it started out that way. He was always good, but people just fell in love with that character and with his portrayal of that character.
Well, especially as they started calling down the cast and getting rid of more people, it definitely seemed like this is the guy that people are turning in to watch. This is the guy whose quotes are turning into T-shirts. This is we have to keep. It's like him, and Arya probably also has to stay. We can't.
Danny has to say.
No.
So this gets into
Danny
my.
has to stay to the end. I do think that was
Danny has to
This
stay to the
discussion,
I
this
think that
story.
was perfect.
I'm
Danny-
not saying Danny has to survive. I'm saying Danny has to stay
To the end.
To the end.
No,
She made it.
this has been like my biggest point of the whole thing is for years I didn't watch the show. Zach's like, you gotta watch. It's so good, so good.
Yeah,
and
'cause
he's
it
telling
was.
he's telling me about all the characters and who's awesome and Ned Stark and it's Danny chick. I don't know. I think people must be like looking at rose-colored glasses when they think about her because I text him during season 3. I'm like, this character sucks. I hate her. She's crap. She is the biggest. She's the biggest villain of the whole thing. And I felt it almost from the minute what's his name was out, Jason Momoa. I'm like, she's a demon.
But it also
I
makes...
don't think that means she sucks. I think she was a fine character, but you're right. She is.
But
definitely-
if you look at a politician, and they show you what you want to see. You hear what you want to hear.
So
and
since
then
you say
you
that,
get into... I'm just saying.
I have a very political comparison of the 3 main characters. If you want to hear it.
I don't want to get it. Nope.
It's not a political discussion.
Yeah, that's what I'm nixing that one right now. We're not doing that one.
But I have very specific who is who. But Danny from the beginning was like, my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna free you, but then you're gonna live the way I tell you, which makes you a slave still.
Well, and I think it worked out really well because it's like Tyrion says at the end. It's like she killed these evil people and we loved her for it. She killed these evil people, we loved her for it. It all worked out great until it was us that we were the evil people, that are people. And then we realized, oh wait, this isn't a good thing. So I think it was a really good way to do that. I just think
It was rushed.
it was rushed this season.
Yes. If we had half a season developing her evilness or her descent into madness, I would have no issues because I'd be
and
like,
maybe-
Here's the thing:
maybe-
people are forgetting. They're only focusing on the season. They're not looking back to
I was
her
gonna
little
say,
situation.
she
I've been-
felt
wait,
solid in her
no,
judgment sometimes.
and
then all of a sudden she's like,
no.
I'm going to kill them all.
No,
It's
she
like,
would
whoa.
always drop on her judgment until one of her advisors, who
Hold-
happened to be
reined
dead
her
at the
in.
end, reined her back in. Exactly.
Because
Tyrion couldn't
because
rein her in.
from the
He's
beginning.
not he
So
wasn't
Jon
a
Snow
trusted
couldn't rein
advisor.
her in.
It was not her core trusted
He's the hand
advisor.
of the queen.
Okay, we don't have to.
But the only reason he was the hand of the
pop the
queen,
Dude, I
the
told you
only
this is gonna get heated.
The only
You need
reason
a
he was the
cocktail.
hand.
I had one. What do you want from me?
The only reason he was the hand was because he had inside detail about Cersei and the inside and how she operates. That's the only reason. Not only that, her
because
core,
Cersei
her
told me that.
core group killed off one by one. Like,
And maybe
Yeah,
this
from
comes
bad
but
decisions
wait,
she made.
And maybe this comes from binge watching it, but I did not. This is the one really strong disagreement I have with the majority of the audience out there. Everybody's like, oh, it's rushed. It shouldn't have happened the way it did. It should have been built up over. To me, it was built up over 7 seasons.
It was built up
I
over
saw
7
her
seasons, yeah.
at the snap of a finger, just turn on people from the beginning. And I was like, she's been like this the whole time.
I mean,
cinematically, the sudden switch is a bigger, more powerful twist
Well,
than
and
watching her further
but
descend
it
for another whole
also-
season.
Especially cinematography
but
wise,
it's
because those
also-
shots, the
They were
shot
cool.
of the 5th episode was the second half of the 5th episode of her just demolishing King's Landing was great. And then that one shot of walking up the stairs and you see
With
her
the
walking
wings.
with Drogon's wings.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's
Beautiful.
great. That's the shot.
But it makes sense for her to turn like that because when you talk about her lineage, like her Mad King, the Mad King kind of turned.
I have
pretty
no
fast.
problem with her going crazy. It just felt like it, for me, she felt solid at the beginning of the season, like, I'm going to save these people, we're not going to do this, to F them all.
Nah, but
And
not in a way.
here's the thing, she doesn't go after her target. She didn't go after Cersei. She goes after, like, a ton of innocents, and then occasionally will go past the...
Now,
I-
that is one thing I will
Yeah,
agree
and I'm
with.
like, you're not even going after Cersei?
She didn't go
What
after...
are you doing?
Yeah, she didn't go after the right spot. But I also think...
If she immediately hit the Red Keep and then kept going, it would have been like, yeah, oh,
But
no.
hang on. You said, oh, she was solid at the first of the season. Okay, so she was solid for 2 episodes of 7 seasons of not being
But
solid.
but wait,
It's 2 episodes she was solid.
Even then, you even saw in the first 2 episodes, she was still holding back because she was hoping
She
that
was
people
being-
would accept
she
her.
was being reined
She was
in.
no, but she was also. You can even tell, even with her interactions with John about meeting Sansa and his family, whatever. It was
I get what
yeah.
you're saying. She had advisors to rein her back.
Yeah.
I get that.
But she wasn't
if
solid.
literally
That's what I'm
everyone
saying.
is
She
throwing
was
down
not
their
solid.
swords
She can
and
go
the
along with
city
the plan.
surrenders, I'm sorry. There needs to be
She
more proper
wasn't
build-up for her
solid.
saying, I'm going to kill them all.
I felt that episode even built that part up okay because you saw her unhinged the entire episode.
Yeah.
Like
What, one scene where she was like, I haven't eaten.
So I remember a time when
wasn't-
these masters of these slaves were captured, they were subdued, everything was all over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's crucify them.
yeah.
Yes, because they crucified how many people? Screw those guys.
Okay.
But what
well,
makes her different than
those
any of
guys.
them? What
Okay,
makes her
so-
different than any of them?
so
They
they-
were assholes anyway.
No, wait.
Tyrion had that argument.
The point is, the soldiers are the soldiers of Cersei. So screw those guys. It's the same thing. The slave owners were
She went
kept.
after the masters, though. That's like her going after Cersei.
Well, but also.
Nah, screw Cersei. She can keep it or keep. I'm going to kill all her
Oh,
friends,
okay.
though.
I've already given you that. That she should have gone
But
after
it also
Cersei.
makes sense
Yeah.
too not to go
But-
directly after Cersei because then Cersei can watch what she's done.
And
no,
there-
no,
No, Cersei doesn't
yeah,
care.
and
if I want to
and-
murder
she
someone,
did.
I'm going to murder them.
She does end up caring though, and you see it with her
She
conversation
didn't
with
even
Jaime.
get any
She doesn't want.
damage on her.
I think that's a moot point because they didn't show it. If the point was for her to see the massacre happen, then they didn't show Cersei experiencing the massacre.
Well, you can
happen.
even tell when she was being evacuated down with the mountain. She was rattled.
Yeah, the most
She was-
loyal
she was-
servant
you
in
saw
the
her.
show,
You
and then
saw-
he betrays
You
everyone.
saw her when she was leaving from her whatever view perch over King's Landing. She visibly got rattled.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, her
She
reign
was-
was over.
But yeah, and she was also fearing
for her life.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
her
yeah.
child's life.
Her
It was less so
child-
about
well,
the
she
people of
drinks
King's
wine.
Landing.
Well, she's never cared about the people of King's Landing. So.
Yeah. So well, that's
Well,
my point.
then why are you building up the subplot of, oh man, Cersei's bringing up all these people into the Red Keep and keeping them like,
No.
What if she had
That
Sunday in there and Danny had to make a decision
That
between
was
going
her
after Cersei and killing her friend and
trying-
the ramifications of Grey Worm?
She was creating a human
She
wall.
was creating that.
And-
those people.
and
They
they-
had no
to
effect.
break
You
to
didn't
break
see-
Daenerys'
but
image.
that's the point.
She wanted
You didn't
Daenerys'
see
image to
the
be
people
broken.
being a wall. They
Well-
weren't anywhere near that.
Well,
it was a plot point.
well,
that
they-
went,
they didn't get everybody in the
Here
Red
comes
Keep,
the
but-
Golden Army. They did
Zach.
nothing.
You gotta let her.
Yeah, you got to let other people talk,
Yeah.
man. That's. But
Yeah,
yeah, you have to.
I'm responding. I can't respond.
No.
No, you have to time your response and know I can probably stop a sentence. So,
I have
Right.
several points.
I see.
but yeah, the point was Daenerys ruined the city, showing that the human wall doesn't work because Daenerys no longer cares. There is no mercy. She's just going to do it. So that's why.
Well, and you saw that moment.
I thought I
You saw
saw
that
people
moment.
being pulled in. I
Yeah,
saw people
yeah,
being
I
pulled
saw
into that
people being
space.
pulled in.
They were
I'm the
keeping
blindest
people
one
out.
here, and I saw the
They
people
ended up
being pulled
shutting
in
the doors at one point.
when they were full.
Yeah,
They were not full.
I mean,
Okay,
technically not
so-
full, but they ended up shutting the doors because it was time for battle.
All right, we're half an hour in. So
Yeah. I think
gonna be here a while.
The
Yeah.
point is to me, and I don't know how you guys feel about it. It was an accurate trip for that character.
I think the trip was accurate. I think the ending, for the most part, there are some arguments I have for some of the characters. For the most part, I could live with the resolutions of the characters, like who ends up where. I'm generally okay with it. Some of it is like,
Well, it makes sense, except for the Grey Worm and then the Dothraki just leaving. That makes no sense.
them forgetting that the Dothraki exist was weird because but I could generally live with it if it were written better and not rushed to the end. Like like Daenerys snapping, I'm okay with. I'm okay with Jon being exiled north of the Wall. But
no, I'm not.
Oh, I am. It makes sense.
I
He
am.
wants to be north anyway.
Who's the Queen of the North?
What do you mean?
Who's
Sansa.
the Queen of the North?
What does that have to do with
Does that
anything?
have
Oh,
Yeah, I
she
don't-
can't pardon John.
Well,
That's
this
different.
she wants
okay.
good relationships with the rest of the
She
six
had to-
kingdoms
what,
that
the
are south of her.
Dothraki?
No, she
No,
had to
it's
agree
making
with.
relationships.
She didn't
yeah.
agree with-
and then you
she
don't
didn't
want,
agree with-
first off, and then you're battling the Unsullied who want his head.
Well, and she had to
Oh
make.
yeah, because they're a huge threat.
So
They're
here's
like barely there anymore.
but-
the numbers between how big everyone's army this season changes.
But
wildly.
the point of it is who wants to keep fighting war?
well, and let's stay focused. When you say, oh, she could just pardon him, she had to agree to send him there to start with. And in the world of Game of Thrones, your word is law if you're a good person. That's been proven. So she has to live with that decision. She can't pardon
And she
him.
knows he's alive.
Otherwise, she starts a possible war with the six kingdoms that are south of her, and we get back into the same cycle again. The point is
Now-
to stop that, and she knows that.
Yeah.
The North can't handle a war right now with the rest of the kingdom, so yes,
Exactly.
it makes sense for Jon to be exiled to the Wall.
Now, the issue I had comes way before season 8, though, is that, when they sent Jon to the Wall the first time, you can't have kids, you can't get, any sex, you can't have no lands, you can't do any of this stuff. And then when he gets to the Wall, people are coming and going and getting laid and deciding, I'm going to leave if I want.
Whoa,
It's
what?
happening. John did it. He left too.
Yeah, because he died. His watch
it
was
was over.
over.
Fact is, and even someone says it at one point, everybody goes to this little town and gets laid. Somebody says it in the show.
Yeah, I thought.
I binged it. I just saw
No.
it.
I
I'm not
agree that
claiming
they
I'm
say
just
No,
saying-
I
you're
know
right.
what
They
you're
totally
talking
say it, but I
about.
think that's.
Yeah.
I
But-
think that's to show the contrast between the kind of character Jon Snow is, and also by an extent Ned Stark and the Starks.
But you also-
versus the other kinds of people who go to the Wall, because typically Jon Snow is not indicative of everyone else who goes to the Wall. Everyone else who goes to the Wall are thieves and,
criminals
murderers and
and-
criminals.
yeah.
Well, by the
and
end
they
of
don't care
it,
about
Sam
them.
had his little girlie there for the longest time. And
Yeah,
he
that
ended up,
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and ended up just
Like no
leaving
one's gonna
with
talk
her.
about him
But
deserting the night
John
watch and
was,
stealing books.
but John
Yeah.
was also in charge at that time.
Yeah, and
But-
John,
but
John
still
was
is.
also John was also so kind of like very torn out when he did do that, but he also knew he had to go deep undercover for this secret job.
Yeah.
And then when his watch was ended, because it made sense, he had that loophole which worked, and then him go. I didn't have that problem because it showed John values this honor more than the rest of the Night's Watch, and that's why he's going to contrast and did butt heads with most of the rest of the Night's Watch as much as he did.
Realistically, though, Sam should go back to the Wall.
Yeah, Sam
He
sure
is
moved up
obligated.
in levels
I did
very
not like
fast.
Sam's ending. I at the very least, I think Sam should have just stayed with House Tarly, because that's where he was at the King's Meet. Is he was the head of his house? That's why he was there.
Well, that's why.
So him going back to the Maesters was super weird because
I don't think it was weird. I think it made
I
sense
think-
because I think he was the last one to know all the knowledge of the history.
I think him working with him, it doesn't.
I also think Sam is someone who has owned who he is,
Yeah.
and he's not a fighter. Even when he has fought and had to fight, that wasn't who he is as a person.
Yeah. He's
So to be a
somehow
leader
survived
in that kind of space, I think the character knew I'm not the right person for this.
But I do think they could have. I felt like there should have been a little bit more to go to Sam. Sam basically going.
But that goes back
I'm the
to-
head of my house right now. To I'm now back to the.
That goes back
Maesters
if they
and
would
so
have
on.
just added 1 or 2 more episodes. They could have established things a little bit
It was
better.
again, that's the part of the whole rush.
Here's
thing.
what I would have done with that scene. I would have cut it as soon as you saw backs. So the scene where Tyrion is like at the small council's table and he's fixing the chairs. As soon as you saw the backs of people walking in the room, I would have cut. I would
Yeah.
not have had that entire scene.
with the little joke.
Yeah, with the joke.
It was levity. It was
For
like
a show that needs more time, oh my gosh, we're taking time in the show to straighten chairs.
Well, no, I'm fine with the
I
straighten
thought it
chairs.
made sense,
No,
though,
that's what I would have had. I would have had him there straightening chairs because I thought that
As
was
the scene started.
Yeah,
fixing.
and then the moment people started walking in, I would have cut it before we saw the faces because Davos, fine, okay, him as master of ships, that
Absolutely.
works great.
That
He's a
makes
sailor.
total sense.
Brienne being head of the Kingsguard, okay, fine,
Yeah, that makes
that's
a
good.
lot of sense. Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Yeah,
Braun is the
That's
master of coin. Was the weird?
Or not Braun.
Braun's whole point
Yeah, Braun. You're
in
thinking
this
Bran.
season
Bran.
was
Braun Bran.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first off,
I think that
I
he was just
wasn't
that as a
upset
joke.
about that because I felt that was part of Lannister paying off debts.
Well,
Yeah, but the thing is, his last debt payoff was Highgarden. It's
Yeah.
like, I'll pay you Highgarden, and he was like, okay, good. Let alone that scene that where he went and threatened essentially his best friends in the entire show.
he somehow gets into this what was it, a little pub or something, with a crossbow, with the hand of the queen and the Kingslayer. No one stops him.
Yeah.
No one sees him, and he's able to reload that crossbow faster than we've ever seen before.
and that was a bad scene.
People are
Yeah.
using tools to reload it. He's like,
So
"I'm
so
good."
while
It's
while,
like,
while
what is going
while
on?
while that scene especially leads into Braun being master of coin weird, where did we figure out that Braun is the most wisest money person that should I'm sure he might validly be possibly in the named cast, but I'm sure there are plenty of people in Westeros that are fantastic accountants that are not him.
It was one of those situations where, and that's a real problem with the end of this series, it was done for a laugh.
It was done for a laugh. It was done
It didn't
because
make sense story-wise.
yeah. So that's why I would have ended the scene before we saw the
like
faces.
Sam Jackson's whole
See, that doesn't-
existence in Captain Marvel.
That didn't bother me at all.
That
bothers
kind of
me a
irked me.
lot.
No,
And then
I enjoyed that levity because I was still reeling from Daenerys.
I didn't.
I
Really
wasn't.
need
By the
levity.
end of the episode, I forgot she was in it. I'm being
I
honest.
was surprised it was that early in the episode
I was
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, Dany was in this episode.
because the
wasn't
most
she?
of the episode was so just epilogue.
Yeah,
And
so
it's-
we're talking about, actually we talked about in depth two characters, which is Dany and
Tyrion next to Jon.
and John, and we inevitably see what had to happen, was going to happen at some point, which was John
Jon sees that Daenerys won't stop
and
she will
ends up
continue.
killing her.
Yes.
Well, I mean, she can only count to 20. I mean, she's killed so many people.
We had to hear that twice.
It was important.
They liked to hear a lot of the characters talk. Like while all the characters deliver their dialogue fantastically, but there were several points in this episode where I'm like, okay, the writers understand that a lot of the audience just likes hearing Peter Dinklage talk, so we're going to let him monologue so much.
Which is what happened at the end. He's still a prisoner. He's still in chains, but he's telling everybody what to do.
Grey Worm even tells
But it
him,
makes-
Shut up.
"You're not here to speak." Grey Worm flat out
He
says
says,
it.
"Shut up," and he just has this big old
keeps
monologue.
going.
No one stops him. I'm like,
I
But
really
I think it makes sense to that character in a sense because look at all he's witnessed from season 1 to now, and look what he's been through, and even just in his character's life, whatever. And he's seen the history, and he needs history to change, and he doesn't want any more loss. He's already lost his big brother, best friend.
I don't
but if
think
I'm
that's the
holding
argument.
you at gunpoint and I say "shut up," and
I
you
don't-
He
keep
has nothing else to
talking,
lose.
and you keep
And I
talking,
don't-
I'm going to shoot.
No,
you in the face.
I'm fine.
Which
that
is
he
what
has
Grey
nothing-
Room should have done.
Yeah, it's not Peter. It's not Tyrion out of character. It's Grey Worm.
Yes.
Because you're right. He has nothing else to lose. He can keep on
Well,
talking.
Well,
I
I don't think
think-
it was Grey Worm out of character too, because look, he lost Missandei, and then now he's lost his queen.
Grey
his
Worm
man.
though was also at a spot where, and like you said, and I actually
Grey
agree
Worm
with this.
set up
Hang
for
on now,
going
wait.
Magos
Let me
next.
finish. Let me
He
finish.
just said he's agreeing with you.
Great, yeah, great. I'm agreeing with you. Let me finish. The numbers on who has the biggest military floats around so much. Like it's unclear about who's got what.
So,
like,
but
the
wait,
Dothraki
wait,
are
wait,
there,
wait,
they're
wait.
gone.
Let
There's
me finish. Let me
something
finish.
there
Let me finish. Let me finish. So my feeling is at that point, the Dothraki are not the largest military that's still there,
No.
and he is at a point where he kind of has to shut up and listen.
That's
And
the-
that's why Peter Dinklage is able to say what he has to
And
say.
it's the only reason to explain why he hasn't killed him or Jon Snow, because otherwise they would have been murdered. Jon Snow immediately would have been killed.
To be fair, I want to say one thing about Grey Worm is there is a scene where he should have died. And that is when
Yes.
when Jon Snow is coming through and he's just randomly chopping people's heads off, and he gets in Jon Snow's face with that look on his face, like I'll kill you. I think I would have taken great pleasure out of seeing Jon Snow take his head off at that point. When you talk about like cleaning house and getting rid of the old guard, that dude should have been killed off.
Yes.
He's a bad guy. He is just as bad as Dan.
It's incredible that, for being a eunuch, he was the biggest dick in the room.
Yeah.
I also
Pretty much.
I also found that how he fast traveled in the city amazingly well.
Yeah.
That scene where Jon
rough.
and Davos go up and they confront Grey Worm is like, don't kill these Lannister soldiers. They're surrendering.
And he's all of a sudden up there on the top.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden. It's like Davos like, we need to go see the Queen, and then you go to see the Queen, and he's already there. How did he get around town so quickly?
After slicing all their
See,
throats.
he can fast travel because there's no enemies nearby.
Oh, that's
And
what
he
it is.
doesn't
killed
hold
them all.
He doesn't hold a candle with at fast travel to Arya.
But Arya's makes sense.
Wow.
Arya's kind of like built it to have this mysterious.
Man, they're
able to
slowly walking down the King's Road, and they can just make it before everyone else.
Well,
It's
Arya's real example of her
Wow.
fast travel capabilities happened during the big, White Walker battle.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, she's there to save the day.
like-
Where did she come from? She was in the castle.
You know what? I'm okay
She was
with
running.
They built this character to be broken. Okay, not broken like Bran, but you know what? I can let that one go. She's supposed to be essentially a stealthy ninja assassin.
Yeah.
Although I'm still curious, what the hell happened to the horse? Because
that
they
is
made,
a problem.
they
She
made
gets on it, and it's gone.
Well, not only that, they made a big deal about at the end of the last episode, which is a great shot. Her,
It was a beautiful shot.
Her getting on this horse and then leaving the city, and then we see her next in the final episode. Essentially, it looks like she's standing in the same place without the horse.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
I mean,
I
it
think
felt
that
like it
shot was supposed to be more of like a symbolism type thing.
But still, it
But
was
no,
not.
it still needs to flow into
Yeah.
the next
Yeah.
shot with her.
It's more of because the director.
It looked cool.
It's a recurring theme this season of the director wanted it because it was a cool idea he had.
Yeah.
Same thing goes during the battle where
With the
all
library
of a su-
scene.
with the library scene where all of a sudden we're in The Walking Dead and there's zombies that we have seen to be fast walking, aggro, and smart are suddenly slow moving. And they're just suddenly in a
Because he
library
wanted
for
to do a
some
couple
reason.
scenes in a horror movie.
And it felt like the director was like, I want a scene like The Walking Dead. And it feels like a scene from The Walking Dead, and it feels incredibly out of place in Game of Thrones. Especially in a scene where we have just absolutely zombies, like a wave of zombies going into this keep.
Yeah.
I mean, that was odd.
Oh.
It just was a recurring theme. Like, we need to kill this dragon. Well, what's the fastest way we can kill this dragon? Let's have it get hit by a scorpion 3 times in a row with 100% accuracy. By the way, the scorpions never do anything ever again in the series.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
If it was a volley, like all the ships fired and like 4 of them missed, but 3 of them hit,
I agree.
I'd be like, well, it makes sense. 3 of them hit, but it was one after another after another. It was like, guys, you can't do this.
Well, okay.
This is garbage.
So just
But I do want to interject
it.
just to stroke Zach's ego. Deborah in the chat says you're all right about the Unsullied and Dothraki army size discrepancy.
yes, I mean,
they're everywhere.
Well, first off, it looks like after the Battle of Winterfell that the
the Unsullied
Dothraki
are
are
gone. Not the Unsullied.
No.
The
Dothraki.
Dothraki are gone.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
yeah. Oh, like in
I
the
thought there
battle.
was
Yes,
maybe
yes, I-
10, 15 left.
Yeah, because they all ride out, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden,
With
there
with
was
no
so
dragon glass,
many.
with no Valyrian steel, they just got regular swords and maybe some fire, and they get instantly taken
It's
out.
because they had light, so they
Yeah,
were
but
able
they
to
didn't
see
know
and run away.
Melisandre was coming, so they were just gonna send them
Yeah.
out there to die,
They
I
were.
guess. And then later, we see them find at King's Landing. By the way, who did the Dothraki serve?
Daenerys
Daenerys, who is
dead.
the Khaleesi or the Khal. So without Khaleesi or Khal, they're gonna rape and pillage and
Yeah.
do whatever they
Which
want.
is what they used to
They're
do.
not gonna follow the Unsullied.
Yeah, they're
and
not
and
gonna
we've
go-
seen that. We've
they're not
seen them
going-
go crazy on their own before.
But they're not gonna calmly get on a
and we
ship to
never
go back
hear
to
them
Essos.
ag- We never hear about them again or what they did or anything.
you
I think-
see,
I
you
think that
see
was- I
a
think that
few
would
of
have been
them
better.
Yes.
at the ship,
No.
right at the end. You see a few of them.
Why would they
make
do
sense?
that?
Yeah.
But I think that would have been better for while I just argued I think they should have cut pretty much all the scene. When they have the small council scene and Bran's like, has anybody seen Drogon? I'll figure out that one. It's like, okay, fine. They should also have probably said, has anybody also seen the Dothraki horde that's in Westeros now?
right?
Because it would make sense for them to be like, well, I'm going out and taking my land or whatever I want to do because I don't have anyone leading me.
So I wanted to recap just
if
one
anything,
thing,
they might kill
though.
themselves.
and you and I know this from the writer that we work with on our narrative shorts, is common in literature is to go in a circle.
Yeah.
And Jon Snow
Did
is
that.
probably the one who most perfectly went in a circle.
Yeah.
And if you look, they even bookended it the way from his trip to the north to his trip.
Those are the first shots of the show.
Yeah. So I mean, I felt that was
Well, you look at it
probably
that,
one of the most successful endings
yes.
of the entire thing.
But if you look at it too, it even goes back to the full circle thing. The Starks wanted to be the North to be free from the beginning too.
well, who else went in a full circle? Danny.
Jamie went a full.
Danny went in a full circle because you see
She became her father.
her father
Yes.
ready to burn everybody in Westeros at the beginning of the thing.
Her father was going to burn King's Landing, and she finished the
And
job.
actually, and you saw some of what her father's plan was
Oh,
mixed in with the
I love the little
wildfire.
stashes of
Yeah.
wildfire as it was exploding.
Yeah,
I love that
That
detail.
was
Yeah.
a great detail. That like this whole second half of the episode's great.
Yeah,
But
it
that
is.
makes sense though too, because there was still a supply of
Yeah.
wildfire that no one knew about.
Oh yeah, and they don't have to directly say it. You just see it and you go, oh.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah.
There were touches of great stuff
Yeah.
this season. And
Well, but it was all visual stuff.
it was all visual
It
or
was
acting.
someone at a computer went, hey, let me add this. And
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
I
true.
directly don't know if it was in the script.
So
But-
we're talking about everything being rushed.
Okay.
So
Do we want to talk about previous seasons or just season 8?
well, we can
Season
recap.
7, I
we
think,
can
was
recap.
kinda rushed, too.
We can recap,
We can recap
on
it.
that.
I think it
But
works to focus on the finale,
On the
but
finale.
bring back stuff that feeds into your discussion about the finale.
Well,
I think
and
like
wait,
the circular.
this
argument.
is what gets into my it gets under my skin though about this season is okay. So they had to rush for whatever reason. The series had to end now. We only have this many episodes. So the White Walker episode was boring. It was unnecessary, and it was because they had no impact on the story at all. They were just
actually
they were
had no
red
impact.
shirts. They were red shirts from Star Trek that had
It
no.
was to even
Let me-
the
let me-
odds.
let
to
me-
But
fight
wait.
Cersei, and that's it.
The part that bothers me the most about it is the episode previous to that battle.
But that's
where we
only
spent
because-
but wait, we spent the whole episode watching people sit around and reminisce and wait for the battle to start. That episode
right.
was wasted.
Okay, so
only because we didn't have a payoff.
yeah, I think that I liked that episode. That was when I got done with that episode too. I thought it was really good because I liked all
Great.
these character moments. I liked
I liked the
it would have been-
reconnections and the
and it would
Sitting
have
around
been
having that last moment of
the
Yeah.
payoff would have been if the show didn't suddenly decide to be afraid of killing characters and killed more main
if
characters.
70% of the cast died in that next episode, you look back on the episode and go, wow.
But they
this
were
is
too
the last
they were
moment.
too safe in
But
that.
because
which
they
is so
didn't.
weird because it's the last season.
They're ending.
But because they didn't, now you look back on the episode and go, wow, what a waste of time.
well, and that see, we're looking at it in retrospect.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
my complaint.
It's absolutely a waste of time.
Now, when you look at the end of the season and you think, oh, I wish they had time to do this, I wish they had time to do that. Well, guess what? They did. They used it for what ended up
Poorly.
being unnecessary filler.
Well, yeah, and ultimately, it is because they were rushed. I think, I don't know to the extent of they were rushed in, once they decided 6 episodes, how far they rushed the actual writing process. Like, from it's going to be 6 episodes to scripts are done. I don't know how abridged that process is, but I feel like certain bits could have just used a better pass. Like, for instance, just a good one. The last episode, John gets exiled to the wall. And I like his bit. It's like, there's a Night's Watch. It's like, okay, I liked it. He had the internal logic to question that. Why? But it would have just made more sense to go, yeah, you're exiled to beyond the wall.
Yeah.
Not say you're in the Night's Watch. You're just exiled beyond the wall. You cannot cross the wall.
Yeah.
And you could even have said the Night's Watch still exists for some reason, but that whole question of at the end is John going to stick to his honor to stay at the Night's Watch, or is he going to just abandon the Night's Watch and stay north of the wall? Like, well, you could just. I don't understand the questioning bit because John's always been so steadfast in his honor. And it feels like the show's trying to set up the good end where John decides abandoning my honor is the best end for me. I should just do that.
Isn't
that
there
seems
even a
so
scene
against
at-
the character.
Yeah, isn't there a scene at some point in one of the seasons where somebody says to him, "You could lie once in a while" or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah.
No,
So-
it was
But
the
he-
last. It was
but
last step
From his
season.
perspective,
Yeah.
didn't he already abandon his honor because he had honored his allegiance to
The Queen.
Daenerys?
Yeah, but you
He's
can.
the Queenslayer.
Which I think,
which is what everybody's saying.
Which, I mean, good luck with that wall. There's a big hole in it.
well,
they can fill it.
okay.
Well, the
all right,
wall
so,
was also made
so,
of magic.
So on that note, I want to bring my conspiracy theory into it.
Okay.
The line where Tyrion says when he's talking to Jon, saying you're going to go back to the Night's Watch, yada yada, and Jon basically asks, "Is it worth it?" And Tyrion goes, "Tell me again in 10 years."
That's the writers.
That is the HBO setup for the Game of Thrones movie in 10 years. They're going to pull a Deadwood. And
I was
bring
going to
a
say,
movie.
I just realized today, I was telling Zach in the pre-show, Deadwood's 10 years old, and we're getting a movie to finish that
Well,
story.
Yeah.
And then look at this though.
And there
that
was-
also makes sense where Drogon carries off Daenerys.
I don't think Daenerys is coming back, but
do you
although
think-
she could, Lord of Light could bring back
Resurrected,
Daenerys.
yeah.
Do you think that Drogon? Okay, option A. Drogon saw the chair. as
Drogon
an
thinks the
evil
chair killed
thing.
it. No, that's entirely
Or
it.
B. And so he decides, I'm gonna take this out so none of y'all can have it because it's a toxic thing. Or B. Drogon goes, stabby knife chair killed Queen.
It's entirely it. I think it's B. That's the one that makes me
but here's
feel
what I think. I
better
don't
about
think-
about how it worked.
I like the idea of Drogon.
I think the
melting chair. I like
dragons
that.
are so loyal to Targaryens, and he knows Jon's a Targaryen.
Oh, we've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because he let John pet him on the nose and all this stuff.
I've seen it. There
Yeah.
was this one image meme I saw where it's the kiss from episode 1 or 2 where they both fly off on the dragons and go to this glacier and have this kiss scene. And John has this one eye open looking at Drogon. But he's like, I'm kind of afraid because I'm kissing your mom in front of you. I'm not trying to be your dad or anything. And Drogon's looking, and the text in front of Drogon is like, hey, if you want to kill her, I'll help hide the body.
I mean, and going back,
Drogon blasting on the throne though with the flame, that was stupid.
No,
I'm
it
sorry.
wasn't.
It's what Zach
He's
mentioned earlier.
he's an animal. He has no clue what the throne is.
Well, it's what
No,
Zach-
but I
it's-
think it's him taking out anger.
But it's what Zach mentioned
on
earlier.
one little thing.
But
He took it out on more than just the
I'm
throne.
going to agree with Zach for a moment, so let me do that. It's a cool shot.
It's a cool shot.
That's
it.
all it is. That's why it's in there, is because it's a cool shot. But
He
it
legit
doesn't
just
make
melted
because
it.
it's great because it subverted your expectations.
No, I still think Drogon had the
We're feeling the effects of the Last Jedi, baby.
Again,
When you get upset, wouldn't you lash out on inanimate objects around you?
I would kill the person that I was like killing my friends.
I understand. I understand him.
I would murder him.
All right, look. I understand the
I
argument.
eat him in 2 bites.
Not if he's
I-
loyal to the Targaryen
I understand the
family.
argument for him not. Okay, I understand the argument for him not killing Jon. I agree with that
Yeah.
argument. I think it being such a pointed, stupid, obvious metaphor for him to burn up the Iron Throne only is annoying. If he had done
Yeah.
that to
But
the
it
whole
was
throne
go
room-
back and watch. It wasn't
I
just
did.
it was
the Iron Throne. He focused a lot of energy on the Iron Throne, but he was also exploding on other things. It wasn't just the
It was
Iron
what
Throne.
was behind
It was
the
like
Iron
a
Throne.
wave over. It's not like he went like all 360 around the room except
No.
for Jon. It wasn't like he just shot a blast up
No.
and it
Yeah.
just coincidentally the throne was in the range.
It was-
no, the throne was the target.
And he stayed on it till it melted.
But
Yeah.
then you also think, all right, well, she can't have the throne. No one can have the throne.
But he's a dragon. He doesn't know what the throne
This
is.
is like-
Dragons are actually smart.
This
though.
is like Steven's
They are.
cat suddenly being like,
And
you
Steven's
can't have the
cat.
projector.
Steven's
No.
cat is actually pretty smart. It will actually crap in certain places.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think really, when you and I were discussing this after the episode, you actually said it best. What I think would have been great, I'd agree with what you said, is if he had
talking
blasted
to me.
on John. What?
He's talking to me, by the way.
Yeah,
For
I'm
audio
talking to
listeners.
I'm talking to Nico, by the way, because the point was if he had blasted on John and then John didn't burn,
That would be.
That would have been great.
that would have been
would've been
epic.
that
huge
would have been
revelation.
great. That would have been great too.
Because then all of a sudden his lineage would have
It's
importance on the
right
plot.
there.
Yeah.
Because this is one thing that's bothered me from the beginning, and I just assumed, oh, it's fantasy, so we have to live with it. Is you only know people's lineage by what is said. There's no way to prove it. Like everybody's all worried about the truth about John coming out. Well, I could just say you're lying, and it's one word against another.
Yeah,
That's
because
the thing about fantasy.
it requires
belief.
everyone to, one, believe Bran's powers, and two, believe that he's telling the truth.
Well, but I mean, even before we knew what Bran's abilities were, there was all this nervousness, and you saw it with Danny. You know, everybody knew that Danny was going to kill John because of his lineage.
Yeah.
Who's going to prove it? It's just something that people
But
say.
my point is,
But
like, the only
the thought
only
is
evidence
what,
behind
yeah.
it is Bran. Bran is the only real evidence behind Jon's lineage.
But to that point,
Yeah.
no one knew about Bran's full
That's my
ability.
point.
But
That's
I'm
why I
also
said it
saying
requires
the
people
power
to
of words-
understand,
it
believe
should-
that he can do that, to know
Yeah.
he can do that and believe it, and then believe he's not lying about it.
But I mean,
I compare it to like people put random stuff on Facebook.
Danny
and
was
people
annoyed-
believe it because
or-
it's on Facebook.
Danny was scared of his lineage before she knew about Bran, though. It's the thing. So she had nothing to worry about at that point, as long as it's one word against another.
I think another
She
another
was
bit of
worried
Rush
about
thing,
the word
but
traveling.
no, another bit about the Rush thing, because I think they knew Bran's power, because like at the like last War Council meeting before the Battle of Winterfell, Bran even talks about it. I was like, I've seen all this stuff and I know it. So that group generally knows Bran's power.
But I mean, this is something that we've seen throughout the seasons, though. We've seen Sansa Stark go in front of people that don't know, have never met a Stark physically, and they're like, "Oh, she's the daughter of Stark," because that's what we were told.
Yeah.
I mean, we see this throughout the series, and that's a thing that and it's a common thing that happens in fantasy in general. When someone says it, we just got to believe it because we don't have DNA and all this stuff to prove it. We just got to take what people say.
I mean,
It's
know?
either you believe it or you suffer the consequences for not believing.
I mean, speaking of that, I mean, the last scene we see Varys do is sending all these. Did he send any?
He
messages?
burned them.
No,
no,
He burned
he
them.
started. He
No,
started writing.
I'm
on
asking.
them.
Like,
No, he
he
did
burned
not
them.
get them out.
Okay, because I was wondering if he did get them out, if that had any effect, or if that was wrong.
That,
No.
by the way, that is
That was
another-
his
that-
internal conflict right there too,
Well,
because you can tell he was.
No,
like,
that was not an internal conflict. He was pretty set on that one, I thought. No, that's another example of the rush writing, is the screwing up of Varys' character in his endpoint.
Yeah.
Because he is one of the smartest characters in the show.
Was Varys trying to poison Nanny
No, I didn't think that was a case.
I didn't get
with,
that
with
feeling.
food?
No, I didn't think that was a.
We'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah, I didn't get that feeling.
No,
either.
I get
some
the
people
feeling.
have said that. I'm like,
I know some people. I've seen that too.
I get the thought process behind it, but I don't think that was the case. But I think that there were examples. I just think, like I said, I think the resolutions are generally okay, but I wish it was just written better at the end to
I mean,
convey it.
Episode 1 of the season, Bran says we don't have time for this.
And then they have time to
We don't
waste
have
all of
time
this.
for this.
And Bran's just like screwing it off. It's like, I'm going to go fly around.
I'm gonna watch the battle in IMAX 4DX over here. Y'all
Yeah,
have fun.
exactly.
That
What was
annoyed
he
me
doing?
so much. And I've seen complaints about people saying about the whole brand, like, I'm never going to be a lord, or I'm not going to be Lord of Winterfell.
I don't want anything anymore. Oh wait, why do you,
Why do you
guys
think
say-
I'm here?
Well, then obviously you want something, buddy.
Well, I don't think that's too much of a problem, because I think he can't be the Lord of Winterfell because he has this greater mission. This mission is to be the king of the now 6 kingdoms. I didn't mind that argument. The thing I did mind is, so we're at the King's Meet, that everyone's voting for Bran, and then Sansa goes, I can't. The North has to be a separate kingdom. We can't do this. We've already said we're no longer bowing. One, you're not bowing to a foreign person. You mentioned earlier, it's the oldest living son of Ned Stark is now the king. So there's that. But okay, fine. You guys want to be separate. Okay, fine.
The North has always wanted to be separate, though.
2, how come no one else immediately went, wait, was that an option? Can I take back my vote? I want to not be here either. And like Yara should have immediately done that, because
Exactly.
the Iron Islands have been trying to rebel throughout the whole history of the show. Dorne keeps calling all of their lords princes because they still feel regal. They bowed to a king, but they did not give up that part of themselves. So they would also be on the let's be a separate kingdom bandwagon. Also, I have no idea who that random guy was. To Dorne.
Or you have all the other kingdoms in agreement with being under a rule of Bran.
I just feel, but it didn't work. It
didn't
made
ring
more-
true
They didn't get to establish.
It made more sense for me if the kingdom's just like, you know what? We're not going to be the collective kingdoms anymore. We are going to go back to be our own individual monarchs.
And I think in this whole idea of Dany trying to break the wheel and the whole thing, it would have been like some sort of success for her
It would have, because-
in her heart of hearts. You know, that part would have been a win and would have been a great story
And I think,
evolution instead of the stupid joke about let's let everybody vote.
okay, I'll get to that one. I think the win of Bran and the King's meet of all the lords get together and we choose the king. I think that is also an acceptable win if the North didn't succeed. Because if the North seceded, there's no reason for any of the other kingdoms to stay in.
I can understand that,
getting
but
back to
I
that
think
joke,
it makes...
that, if anything, pissed me off in the final episode, it was the democracy joke. Because it was just a jab of like, hey, we could have democracy, and it was never going to fly, and then all the characters laughed at it, and I'm like, that's cheap. That's pissed me off.
And it also, in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, is going to date the show.
It's going to date the show. It never would have happened, so why use the joke? No one would have gone for it. And it just frustrated me so much.
Well, and that's part and parcel with this season is it's been, let's do a cool shot that looks cool, and let's make a joke because it'd be wink wink at everybody.
Yeah.
And then the story was like third in the list.
It's like I said, like so much of the show was that scene. Tyrion's gonna monologue. No one has a better story than Bran the Broken. And I like the image.
Really?
I like the. I've seen multiple image memes of like everyone in the show that's had a better story under that screenshot.
What did I tell you, Zach, when I was going through it when I hit season 2? What did I tell you?
Did you say Bran was gonna be king?
No, I said I hate that character and I hate everything
Bran.
about him.
Yeah.
I hated
Why?
Because he's broken.
He's bland.
He's broken.
When you say you're broken,
Dead weight. He's just like.
And in season 7, we had to spend so much time with him and Christopher Plummer in the damn tree. I'm like,
That was season. It was
No,
season
six.
6. I was like,
Six,
for
'cause
the oh god, his story is so stupid.
Hold
No,
And
it was 5 because he missed all of 6 and
right.
he's back in 7.
And his his abilities are so broken.
I did see a meme though when I was talking about Jaime Lannister, Bran becomes king. And
Yeah,
it's
his
like,
Kingslayer game was so good he tried to kill the king in season 1.
Yeah, I have hated that character, and it was so funny because I said that to Zach. I'm like, I hate this character.
I would have.
And I saw Zach inhale, and I'm like, damn it, I'm gonna have to look at so much more.
I
of him.
would have
I'm
loved.
like, I have bad news for you.
I didn't hate the character. I would have loved more development and understanding of why the Night King wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have
Yes,
been. They
I
rushed.
need
They rushed the Night
motivation.
King because they got to the point when they were writing season 8, possibly sometime in the middle of season 7, where they realized this.
We can't develop the story.
Well, yeah, it's basically like we don't want this to be the main. It's not the main story.
Yeah.
We don't want to develop more time. We're gonna rush the ending. We're gonna kill off all the White Walker stuff halfway through season 8.
I almost would have loved if the White Walkers took over Winterfell and it took the battle
and then they
into
had to retreat
King's Landing.
because it was always this message of, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the message I was getting out of the show was it's not about sides, it's not about who's in the chair. There's two sides, living and dead.
Yeah.
And the people who didn't go against that were going to pay dearly.
No,
And-
I thought the climax of the show was generally going to be the battle that we not. I expected it to be better, but generally the confrontational side.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
I would have loved it.
Yeah,
I would
I
have
agree.
loved the battle of Winterfell, the White Walkers to carry over to King's Landing. They defeat the White Walkers there, and then all of a sudden everyone.
Then all of a
turns
sudden
on
it's
each
a, it's a
other.
scramble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
Well,
not saying
you
that,
know-
that's my side, but I'm saying
I think that
have
would have been
much
better.
higher
Yeah.
stakes. Kill off the characters.
We get that one throwaway line about why he wanted Bran. He's like, so he can make the night forever or whatever, and it was one line, and that was it.
And
what's
there's
the-
also so much lore.
Yeah, like
of
what's the point of all the circles and the spirals?
Well,
Yeah.
and other than that, what's the point of Castor's children?
Yes.
In way back in season like 3 or whatever, 2,
Two.
and him taking the babies from Castor and doing something
The
like.
only thing-
that's not to make an army because you.
The only thing I can, and I'm spinning here and doing the writer's work, those are the generals.
That I was actually just about to say.
I
That's
was
the only
thinking
thing
that
it could
too.
be
That's
the
the
generals.
only thing. So there's nothing there to
and
prove it.
that's gonna be the movie in 10 years because if you had that baby survive in 10 years, it's gonna be like an evil child, and John's
No,
gonna.
it burst in the crystals because the Night King exploded.
There's some reason he doesn't. The Night King set up a contingency. It's a. It's a.
That's not how this works.
What do they call him in Harry Potter? The Horcrux. It's a Horcrux.
The only
Because I was gonna go
sucky
D&D,
thing is if they
it's
were
a
to do
phylactery
movie,
of a
then
lich.
They won't have a.
Oh, he is a
Cersei,
lich, yeah.
Lena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Lena Headey's character,
Yeah, she
Cersei.
did.
If only they had hugged and embraced like 10 feet over, they would have been fine.
I mean, there's parts of me that are kind of.
nothing to do this season.
She didn't.
I'm kind of okay
She made
with
so
her.
much money just holding a glass of wine.
Yeah, $1 million an episode is what I understand for just
Is it
standing
half
there.
million or $1 million? But
I heard
just
$1
to
million.
stand there looking at
I heard
green
$1
screen and sip
million,
some
but she was
wine.
only in like 3 episodes this season.
Yeah, but the thing
It's
is,
cool $3 million work.
you know, they had built her up to this place where she was going to be formidable, and then it just sort of.
And then Tyrion goes, "You're not evil." It's like, excuse me.
Well, okay.
I don't think
With-
she was fully evil.
No, she was.
She was.
She was. But here's the thing: what she was is the evil that you know. She's a certain level of evil. I mean, there were times where, well, even at the in season 1, when I guess it was season 1, when Ned Stark got his head cut,
That's season 1.
That's season 1.
she didn't want to do it.
No, because she knew
That was
bad
Joffrey's
idea.
crazy ass.
But it wasn't because she's not evil. It's not because she's not against the idea of him
She's
dying.
a political game.
Yeah,
yeah,
it doesn't.
but that's my point. Is she's evil to a degree,
She's
to the
lawful
necessary
evil.
degree
Lawful evil, yeah.
to get what she wants. She's not
Joffrey was chaotic.
as sadistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, where so
Dany's
Joffrey was
neutral evil.
right.
We'll just go straight D&D terms. Okay,
Exactly.
That's good. I can do
Exactly.
that.
But so there's aspects of her death that I like because so many people wanted her dead,
And no one
and
actually
she
did.
took that from them in a way accidentally, but it did get taken from them. So that's kind of humorous to me. I kind of laughed about it a little bit when I was watching.
I'm okay with that, mostly. I just, you know, the more I've sat on it, the more I'm okay with her death. Genuinely, honestly.
What's really
Well, because the problem is she got overshadowed in the evil department. As evil as I thought she was, to me, Dany just grew into the villain
Well,
for me.
I think
the one that I really hated.
I think the disappointing thing I really do have with her isn't the death, because I think the thing I was let down for her death is, that's all she did this season.
Yeah.
Is that she just didn't do much.
I think she was the setup to ruining Dany's image.
no?
Yeah, no, she was.
I mean,
I don't know.
Towards people, towards John, everyone. You saw how, she was a setup because
But
she's
no one
the
liked-
reason that drove.
No one liked her to start with. Though.
Well,
no one
I know,
liked
but-
Cersei.
But she drove Dany. She's the one that drove. She took her last.
Yeah, but she
Well-
still didn't do much as a character.
Yeah,
as
that-
a plot device, okay,
Yeah.
maybe. But she.
Well,
as
that
a-
was her plan.
Yeah.
Where if Dany does come in, she's going to kill so many people, it's going to destroy her possibility
well,
of
her-
taking the throne.
Yeah, but in her plan, and she probably won't do that. And it was a safeguard. But again, her as a character, she didn't really have an active role. Her active role was all defensive. It's like, I'm going to put these up. I'm going to order these scorpions. I'm going to screw the freaking Hot Topic Greyjoy guy over here. Euron is... I
Stupid.
God, I hate it.
And then he wants to claim himself as king. And I
Well,
was like,
Dany
"You
kind of
don't."
forgot about the Iron Fleet
And the funny thing,
after they mentioned it to her twice in the same episode.
Well,
Right.
no. She didn't forget. It just didn't
no,
matter.
that's what the writers said. They said she forgot.
Oh, no, I because...
so is there I think Tina or somebody commented in the chat room.
yeah, Tina said that Tina thinks that Cersei thought that she knew she was going to die. She was guzzling that wine with that baby because before she would have drinking it all. That's why she didn't care about the baby. She knew it was
I'm
over.
not even sure the baby existed.
I think
There
it
was no baby bump, and there was months that passed. There was no evidence. to
Yeah, she
suggest-
works out. She works out though.
She could just say, "I'm pregnant," and people would believe her.
So I thought I actually went back and forth on that theory, and I kind of. If they had addressed it more, I think I would have bought it. I think the baby probably did exist, but I think it earlier in the show, if they actually
Wasn't it like the
tried-
first episode they slept together and then all of a sudden she was pregnant?
it was
no, because she wasn't pregnant by Euron. It was from
It was the end of season 7. Jamie is about to say, "F you, I'm leaving," and she says, "Well, I'm pregnant, and
Yeah.
I won't let you leave."
And-
That's when it was announced.
well, it was earlier than that episode too, because they had an intimate moment, and then later she tries to use that to keep him.
Which, by the way, Tyrion going up, and everyone's there. First off, they're not going to kill him, even though they have them dead to rights anyway. So Tyrion goes up, and I know you care about your baby. For your, to the effect of, "I know you have a baby." Euron just bumped uglies with Cersei. Alarm bells should be going off
in his head.
in Euron's
Yeah,
head.
totally.
Euron should immediately go, "Wait,
You know what's weird is there's so many
how
other
does
things.
this guy know that?"
There's so many other things about this show that bother me. Like, I don't care about this.
People getting out about pregnancy didn't bother.
Yeah, I just don't care
I
about
think
this.
I think it shows the stupidly super
Characters
compressed
are
travel.
making
Well,
just
but because,
stupid
for instance,
decisions.
okay, the fact that she was early enough in the term to still be able to have that kind of intimate relationship with Euron, it's like, that's fine. But so much time theoretically passes
Between then and there.
between the end of season 7. Jamie has to go to Winterfell.
Well,
Do you know
they
how
have
many
a fight.
miles
They
it
all
is
come back
between
down.
King's Landing and
We've already had this conversation.
We
before,
learned
yeah.
we had this in outside the show. We have learned that speed and distance make no difference.
The
in
last two
this
seasons,
Oh my
the last
God.
two seasons, they don't. They like everything before this. It did, but
I'm
the
going to
last
send
two
a Raven
seasons,
and it's going to fly 2,700 miles in 8 hours.
But then the next time there's a storm, ravens have trouble flying in
Oh,
the
I
storm.
can't do it.
yeah, Winterfell. Yeah, King's Landing to Winterfell is like East Coast to West Coast. It's
Yeah.
Touch on
crazy
the
long.
subjects in your story, Nico.
Oh well, I mean, we
I don't know.
already
We're
did.
kind of
Well,
hitting everything that's
Yeah.
there.
We talked about Jon Snow's circular
Yeah.
nature, and I think that part was good. I actually like early on before the show spun out of the books and we had Jon's death and resurrection and all that stuff. I kind of figured his end was going to be at the wall, or there was not going to be a wall anymore.
Which, by the way,
It works.
when John was resurrected, I made a mental note to myself that the next time Zach bitches and moans about a comic book character that gets brought back in a movie, I'm going to remind him of this, his favorite show.
Yeah, but to be fair,
Well-
this is the second time it's happened, and it's never done again.
Well,
no, there is a character.
I was going to say, if we talk about,
Give it 10 years
We're
from
talking
now.
about second character, yes. If we're talking about times of resurrection,
Oh no! Oh no!
But still,
we have one character who was resurrected 8 times.
I think the problem I have with Jon Snow's resurrection is is where the show diverges from the books. There's no real payoff to the explanation for why the Lord of Light lets it happen, because we get kind of why he lets Barrett Dondarrion come back
Yes.
over and over again. But like, I guess Jon is here to also fight the battle at Winterfell, which he doesn't honestly have that big of a purpose on,
The only-
other than the initial. He brought everyone to Winterfell. That was his
That's the
role.
All
only
we
thing
can
I
say
can
is
think
the Lord of Light knew and brought him back to kill Dany at the end.
But the Lord of Light pretty much like
Stretch,
after the
that's a
after the
stretch, and the
ba-
writers should have done the work for
after the Battle of Winterfell, the Lord of Light stuff doesn't matter, and none of the old god stuff ever really matters in the show anymore. And it's just there's so much.
They set up Azor High, and it's like there's no payoff to that.
There's so much in the show that's not paid off, and it's definitely stuff that you see that they stuff that was in the books that they realized they didn't care about towards the end, that they didn't they didn't think they were going to get to, so they just dropped it instead. They dropped it or rushed a conclusion that doesn't work, and it's annoying. And I know George R.R. Martin has come out, he made a post on his website saying basically doing this whole retrospective, like it was such a great experience and all this stuff, yada yada, all the stuff you would expect. And he does address the questions like, yes, I am working on the next 2 books. I'm not going to put a deadline on it because I've done that before. And
He put a deadline on it today.
oh, well, that's new. But
He said
When-
it's
when-
like spring. It's either spring or summer of 2020. If I am not
for Winds of Winter.
for Winds of Winter.
Okay. That's the one thing I wanted out of this season was in credits. And then, by the way, Winds of Winter coming out winter 2020 or 2019.
Can you imagine the fever of like at the end of the credits, the Winds of Winter now available next week?
That would have been the best marketing push.
It would have
ever.
absolutely.
That's an Apple marketing push
It
right
is.
there.
But still, he addressed like, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be different? Well, yes and no. Some things are going to be the same. Some things are going to be different. I am going to address all the stuff they left out, like Lady Stoneheart and Azor Ahai, and it's like, oh, thank God. I really hope that has a payoff, just because there's so much stuff. The show just dropped. Not even stuff that they didn't cover, like Lady Stoneheart, but stuff that they had in the show, like Azor Ahai, that they just stop. We're done. And
Wait, who is Azor?
Azor Ahai is
the
one
one that
of
was prophesied to be. That's why he's the
Melisandre, the Prince of His Promise. Melisandre thinks
was like
that
Stannis is
Stannis
the Lord of
is the-
Light's chosen warrior. He's going to bring the one.
he
that-
is the reincarnated Azor Ahai. It was all of her mission stuff.
That's right.
And all that stuff gets dropped and thrown to the wayside.
By the way, I never liked that Red Witch chick. I mean, she's
It's
fine.
because she
actor.
had big old saggy old lady movies.
No, I didn't care about that one.
When
way
you
or the
saw
other.
that, were you like, ah!
Not really.
Not really. No, it's fine with
You
that.
got flashes of The Shining?
But anyway, there's a lot of stuff that the show dropped because ultimately it gets to the point where Weiss and Benioff wanted to end the show. They wanted to, and it also could have been other powers behind it that wanted to end the show, but they are the showrunners, so it falls to them.
Yeah.
And they're
the writers.
They're
It
the
falls to
principal
them.
writers. They're the crafters. They wanted to do it themselves and rush the ending of the show so they could move on to other stuff.
So here's another thing: is as I was watching, and I think binge watching the show versus watching it over a number of years are two really different experiences.
I think you're right.
Having
I
to
think
wait weeks in between.
Well, it's
some
not
of
even a
these
having to
episodes.
wait thing. It's
Holy crap.
it's seeing the next thing when the previous show is really fresh.
We're seeing
Because-
the next season because of the waits, especially
yeah,
between some of the
things
later
don't hold
ones.
up as well. And the one thing that really bothered me, and I was actually blowing Zach's phone up about this, is Jamie's story. I hated his story for the longest time because they make him out to be
Douche.
pretty
Just
much
a
an
beautiful
asshole.
douche.
Yeah.
Like he's a bad guy. Then all of a sudden, we have to sympathize for this character. He's not so bad. And I'm like, I don't buy you. You're not a
did you
hero. You
sympathize-
tried to kill a little kid.
Did you sympathize with Theon?
Which one is he?
He murdered two. He's
Theon
burned
Greyjoy,
and
he's the one
murdered
who-
two kids.
Yeah,
He's
he's
No!
weak.
But he got his pee cut off though.
I didn't say. I told you that. I'm like, you're like, wasn't that enough? I'm like, no.
He got almost flayed.
No, I didn't. And,
I
and
think-
the thing about Jamie's story is in the middle of the seasons, all of a sudden he's supposed to be like this good guy, like he's protecting Brienne and all this stuff.
I think that's definitely because the show recognized that he's definitely the pretty boy of the show, like Jamie Lannister, Nikolai,
And it's
Walden's
lame.
character.
Own your story.
And they wanted. I think I don't like comparing it constantly to the books.
The books is different.
Well,
Let's just say that.
Kind of. They do that transition with Jamie to a respect. They don't have like the adventure where he and Bronn have and to go to Dorne to say that doesn't happen.
That the adventure is garbage.
It is garbage.
But no, because it's a good buddy cop thing. I mean,
But I don't
they're
buy him
fine.
as a buddy cop because I don't buy him as a cop because he's a douchebag.
Yeah. So that transition to kind of the slow redemption, or at least toning back him being a douche, is a little bit better done because it's spread out more and it's not as sudden. Same thing with Theon. His whole reek thing is horrendous, and
that whole
and-
thing bothered me too because when what's his name used him to infiltrate and all this stuff,
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta sit through how many episodes because I know this is what's gonna happen.
But you
I
also-
know he's gonna do it.
You also don't have the books also aren't at that sudden redemption point either for Theon. So it's also like where he suddenly becomes a good guy. So a lot of that stuff is where it gets rushed at the end because it's like we have to have Theon back on the good guys.
Theon, and he just caved and went back and forth, and he was so inconsistent as a character. At least with Jamie, and I did feel this, is by the end they had set him up to be like they had me to believe, and I kind of bought it that he's willing to be a good guy or a douche, either one, whatever it takes to get him back to Lena Headey's character. Back to Cersei.
And he went back.
Because it's all about love, about loving his sister,
They were
which
doing-
also makes you douchey.
See, 'cause the
but
thing is,
I'm sorry. it
Well,
does.
and they definitely were going to end together. And
yeah. So he would do good guy things if the puzzle pieces put him back to her.
See, for me, it felt like once he said, screw you, I'm going to go fight for the North." For me, as a viewer, I was like, "Oh, he's done with her. He's finally moved on." And then for him to just turn right back, I was like, "What?"
So I didn't-
Well, it's like any drug
thought that was,
addict.
I thought that was a possibility, but
Relapse.
it also.
He just had sex with Brienne.
guess
Like,
I'm
I
telling-
thought he had moved on to
Well,
other
well,
pastures.
I think part of it was also one. He says it when he's there.
I didn't
when,
know
when, when they
he was
have
missing the finger in the bum.
when they have him captured.
Well, the Brienne and the one night stand jokes are kind of funny.
When they have him at basically the court at Winterfell, and it's like, why are you here now? It's like, because there's an army of zombies that you just proved to me, and I kind of want us to live. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it is bigger.
He had reasons.
He had reasons, and at that, it's like, I still have these unresolved feelings for Cersei, and I don't want her to die. So I am going to go back there, even if it's not necessarily. I'm going to have a happily ever after with her. I don't want her to die, and I have these unresolved feelings. We did not leave at a point.
Right.
So now, did the show do a good job conveying this?
No.
No, but
I
That
I
makes
have
sense.
But you
expected
can pick
him
it
to
up.
kill her.
You pick it up.
I pick it up
Yeah.
because I understand what the attempt is,
Right.
but
understanding
that's not
what the
same.
attempt is isn't a successful writing.
Nope, it's not.
Now, what's really funny is it is of constant note that my big issue with the show, especially early on, was just a me thing where everybody looks too much the same. And I started complaining because I'm like, people look different every freaking season. And I said something about Jamie, and Zach was like, oh, okay, he's about to look real different. I'm like, boy, stop spoiling. I start the next season, I was like, who the hell's that guy?
Was it the last
Because-
season? Or
yeah, I was like,
when he's got the
whoa,
beard? Yeah.
where did his douchey hair go and his beard came in?
It took
And I
a
was like,
while to travel to Winterfell.
I guess.
Yeah, which is the I think the good argument for Cersei maybe not pregnant because it took him a while. That beard grew out a good bit, and so there should have been more.
He
of a
came in that season looking like Arrow.
He spent 5 years through hell. I mean, that's not untrue, honestly.
I don't know how much more we can talk about it.
We're in
because I'm-
season 8. You want to talk about season 7?
Well, I
Go
just
backwards.
I'm just saying.
are there other characters that we didn't?
Arya becoming a faceless assassin had no effect.
What
on
a
the
waste of
entire
time!
plot.
What a cool kind of thing. I like those dudes.
She
Yeah.
did not use a face ever again. She didn't bake anyone ever again.
Okay, I didn't
It
mind
was
the
like,
okay. I
if
didn't
she-
mind the
mind it.
baking.
If she used a face to get close to the Night King, would totally bought it.
I don't mind it.
But her just coming out of thin air, past 200 zombies and all the
Well,
generals
you
and
could
all that-
argue that was part of her
God.
training.
She went through the
No,
dark.
it definitely was part of her training. I
Yeah.
think it
I
would have
don't
been.
think thematically with her character. I mean, okay. She single-handedly did it. Single-handedly. It's not like somebody else was distracting her.
I wouldn't say she's single-handed. I think Bran
Well,
already
it's
knew.
Nobody else was attacking him. At the
Okay,
same
It's
time.
but it's a dagger. You only hold it with one.
And
hand.
also, you're not allowed to have this
No,
argument
okay.
of her single-handedly doing that. Because I argued when I first started, I don't buy a bunch of 8, 10, 12, and 14-year-olds ruling all these kingdoms. And Zach's like, well, you don't know how it was back then. You were a grown-up if you had your period. Well, so she was a badass at 12
Her
years old.
training, yeah.
You can't be one or
Her
the other.
training, yeah.
I think.
What I'm
was-
getting at
okay.
is, okay, so we have a character of Arya who wants to become a trained assassin, who then becomes a trained assassin, is going to assassinate people on her list. Then we get this really weird skew in her arc where she goes and fights as undead zombie, and then goes back to being an assassin. It's just it's inconsistent with her.
No, she's
whole
still-
plot thread. She didn't even know the White Walkers existed the episode prior.
I don't know. I felt that while I don't think it was intended, the line that Melisandre gave that's like you'll kill green eyes, brown eyes, blue eyes because when
I don't agree with
when they said it later because I think they don't I don't think she says it in that order. If she said it in that order with the emphasis on the blue eyes, I think it would have been spot on.
Yeah.
But I think they did well enough to set up that whole bit.
I'm not saying she
Were
couldn't kill him.
were you expecting a bunch of zombies to stop her? Because
Yes,
if you look at the Night
absolutely.
King, how many times did we see the Night King where
They don't
he's-
take a
he's
step
sing-
towards him.
They don't because they don't move unless he thought he had it under control.
No, I think he means before she gets to that point.
I mean,
but
he had a dragon that could incinerate Bran with his fire. He's going to
Yeah.
make it personal and walk up.
See,
He's showing
I-
vanity and pride.
No,
something
see, that-
White Walkers have never
That-
shown.
that's something.
before.
That's something else. I think is.
They
I
are
think there should have been
beyond that.
there should have been an
They've been
intent.
shown
There should have
to-
been an intent that he has to do something.
Like
with
he
Bran.
can
Not-
be the only one to personally do it. or
No.
something like
Yeah, I
that.
think that's why he has
Yeah,
to
I
do
agree
something.
with Nico
Not
on this
not
one.
kill Bran. He has to like corrupt Bran or turn Bran.
Yeah,
He has to
because
do something.
they said in that one throwaway line, his whole goal is to get to Bran so they can have the never-ending night.
Yeah.
So to destroy him, I don't think would have been a success. I think he
Because
had
I
to-
think if he had
I
destroyed
think
it-
he had. To me,
Yeah.
I always assumed he had to take him. He had to touch him the way he touches everybody else and turns him into one of him.
Because I think basically if Bran died, there would have been another three-eyed raven at some point.
Right.
So I think he has to turn him in some way or
Again,
corrupt him.
But you do
okay,
have to
I
make
wish
some
I-
assumptions. But
Well, that again, that's
I wish
that-
I got that from the show,
That's what
'cause I
Zach,
didn't
Zach
get
said
that.
earlier. We were doing the writers' work for them. I think it's a logical assumption. I think it works. I think if they had another pass and just realized there were logical gaps here that they aren't catching, which is why I feel like the scripts are rushed, but again, I don't know how much time they have between.
Well,
we're doing 6 episodes and scripts are done. I don't know what the writing length was.
Well, and we're back onto that though. I had a whole issue with them just randomly being able to figure out how to stop the White Walkers. John just decides it. Oh, we have to kill the knight, and they'll stop them all. I mean, literally.
They did show a general going down and whoever were under his command falling.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe
that
that
was
was enough.
previous. Yeah.
Well, they could have. They
And
could have.
after that, they were like, okay, well, if this is the case, we have to go out.
But
And then
they
they
could have had
just
this slight bit of
assumed,
expositions like, hey, this happened and
Yeah.
they all died. So I think if we get the leader of all of them, if like a line like that was thrown in, I think that would have cleared up that confusion.
Yeah.
Again,
I agree.
Just I don't know.
Overall, I enjoyed the series and I enjoyed the ending.
enjoyed the
I
series
just
up
wish
to a
there was.
point.
I wish they would have not rushed and actually put more thought into.
Yeah,
certain
let's do the
situations.
overall. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Steven?
So I enjoyed 1 through 6. Season 7 was where I started to become annoyed. The finality of it, the way the characters wound up, I was generally fine with though.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things I think you can revisit the show, understanding the bad parts and the flaws, and probably still enjoy it because I think the characters pretty much all end up where they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with it. And the things that are real stupid and I really hate, I'm going to get this next 4, 5, 6 years of pleasure of reminding Zach of it. So it's so worth it.
Until
So
the movie comes out.
I am the 10 years. It's going to happen. That's my bet. I'm calling it.
Well,
it's
we
gonna
already
be
know
Game of Thrones Deadwood.
There's confirmed
spin-offs
there's
and-
confirmed 2 spin-offs in the works.
But those are spin-offs in like other eras
Prequel,
and
yeah.
prequels and not dealing with his characters. In 10 years, we're getting the sequel movie. But for my overall, I agree with Steven. I loved the show all the way up through season 7, and there are still good bits in season 7, and there's still good bits, although not as many, in season 8. And ultimately, for the most part, I can live with the resolutions with the characters. I wish the transitions, the actual writing to get them to those points was better.
Yeah.
But John staying with the North, because Tormund says it, or like when he last sees, is like, you got the true North in you, so he ends in the true North. Okay, I think Arya not staying with anybody works because
It does
she's
work.
so
Absolutely.
away
The
from
characterization.
She's a renegade.
If she
Although
went
I will
and got
say-
married with someone, I would have
I,
so mad.
I will say this: there's a time discrepancy between the really cool shot of all the Starks, the remaining Starks, the real ones, because they don't do a brand, but like of Jon, Sansa, and Arya, where it cuts in between them. That ending bit is cool, but there's a time discrepancy there because when the hell did the Starks get a ship with their direwolf on the front and everything in it?
Right.
They're a landlocked country. They have houses that are loyal to them on coasts, but they would not
Again,
have Stark.
something
first.
else that looked cool but made no sense
Yeah,
in the writing.
but it was cool, and her doing
But
that
it was
is
good because it subverted your expectations.
Yeah. Now that's the spinoff I like to see.
That would be-
is her travel into the unknown country.
That
They
would be
already
cool.
said they're not going to do it.
I know.
they're not going
It's
to,
funny because
but
we already know it's there because there's world maps.
but I'm okay. Well, I like her answer is going to be like, oh, I found Essos. Apparently the world's round. but Bran being king, I'm okay with. But the arguments getting there could have been better. I think I love Tyrion's whole like, no, I don't want to be Han. I've been Han. It's awful. It's like, no, this is your
your
payment
punishment.
for every mistake you've done. This is going to be your
And you
what you've
see
done.
that because he's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, and I thought that was a
Nice
cool,
job. Nice
well,
job.
yeah.
All
I
the
thought
way
it was
to the
great.
end.
The resolutions are fine. It was rough at the ending, and we ultimately know why, and it's frustrating, but I still enjoy the show. I will enjoy eventually getting books if they actually do happen, and I still like the franchise. So,
I mean, what I took from this final season was the characters. I liked the interactions between the
yes,
characters.
I still like the characters.
All right, Zach. Go.
Again, I'm gonna
Take a breath.
I'm kind of in Steven's boat where I really do like season.
Does it have a
6.
direwolf on it?
Well, it does not.
It does.
We do not sew. sir.
No, it just has a yin yang.
Oh, there we go.
We do not sew. Anyway,
Who makes your clothes then?
quiz, dead man. Anyway, the point is, I really like seasons 1 through 6. Season 7 was a step down in quality, and everyone knew it. But season 8 was, I mean, gosh, we went to the basement level of quality there.
I think what's more disappointing is they hyped it. More than anything.
Well, I mean, because it was like
Well,
the
it wasn't
final
just
season.
Well, it
you know,
wasn't just the hype.
Everything's been leading to
it was
this.
a delay because
it was a year and a half
Yeah.
delay, and I mean, gosh, it was a long year and a half too. But it really comes down to the writing. And this isn't just only a Rush thing. This is a Rush plus. I do believe there is a huge dip in quality in terms of writing, in terms of continuity, and in terms of taking visual and style over substance. In terms of that was a cool shot. That I want.
It's like Michael Bay directed season 8.
Well, no, Michael Bay is a little bit too unhinged, whereas this is a little bit more strained. But, well, I really
because if it was Michael Bay, the Battle of Winterfell would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been.
This kind of says it for me is, I've been buying the Blu-rays day one, except for when it came to season 7, and now when it comes to season 8, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to buy this.
Gonna get them 4Ks.
I don't really want to kind of invest in
Season
$40
7 still has
a
some good
season
shots
again.
in it, so I'd like to revisit.
Yeah, but there's a huge dumb polar bear
Yeah.
fight in it that makes no sense either. Yeah, you forgot about that because it was dumb and stupid. But I mean, would I still recommend it? Yes, with warnings. Had I known the series was going to go as low as it would, I'd honestly, pushed it on to you as hard as I did because it was as good. And season 7 was a step down, but we were under the impression that season 8 was going to be just back to that quality. Mm-hmm. To where you can go, well, season 7 and 8 weren't as good as rest, whereas you go, well, seasons 1 through 6 are good, 7's, and then 8, just skip 8, man. Just skip with your own ending. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. Is like, I just rather. I signed the petition. I did. I signed the petition saying start over and do it.
Can I be honest? That
Here's
petition.
the thing. I am not expecting
I think
it
it's
to happen.
rude. It's rude.
The petition doesn't piss me off. I just think it's stupid.
I am not expecting it to happen. All I want to do is send a message that says, I am so displeased with this.
But what kind
I want you to know.
What kind of a message does it send? Because who cares?
It basically sends
I
a
want them
message
to know that 1.7 million people are dissatisfied with your product, and yes, it is a product. I've been paying for it monthly, and I think y'all could have done better. That's all I want to say, and I want to put my freaking name on the list so they can say, "Oh,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
and
people
the
on
two
this list."
showrunners, can roll up $1,000 bill and
Absolutely.
snort
Well,
some coke
they
off a
can.
hooker's butt
They
and not
can,
even
but
care.
If we didn't have that, you just have there's some sect of the internet.
All right,
It's not a sect, it's 1.7 million.
Here's the problem. Steven's right. Who cares? Because if Weiss and Benioff cared, it wouldn't have been as bad of a season.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Because of this, whenever they come out with their Star Wars thing, I don't care. Well, I mean, I didn't care about Star Wars to begin with, but now I really don't care. I mean,
Well, we're gonna see.
Don't care.
Well, I think I'm just gonna have to look at it and see because they have proven they can do good stuff.
Yeah, given the right material.
Okay.
If they're writing their own material,
But if they're not writing, because I don't know if they're writing.
if someone did the story and they're adapting it, that's one thing. But if they're creating their own story and writing it,
Well, we'll see. That's a whole.
also the writer
other,
of
that's a whole other show.
Wolverine. But as the last thing, this whole season I rate probably 3 out of 10.
I don't go that low because there are moments that I stand by the way the thing happened with Danny and that kind of thing.
I would say 5.
It's a 5.
Yeah, because I would say there are half of the season that I like, and it's not the writing aspects as much as it's not the overall writing because his dialogue is still writing. But it is the character stuff. It is you get a lot of good character moments. You get a lot of good.
You get completion to some arcs.
I can't go
You
as
do in
high.
some.
I can't go as high as a 5. Just for me, it's like I liked episode 1 and parts of 2, and then 3 can trash, 4 can trash, 5 can trash, and most of 6 can trash. That to me, that's a 3 out of 10 because over half the season is bad.
That's fair. I mean,
All right. Yeah.
I'm not saying y'all's score should be that. I'm saying for me, I look at it and I go, I only liked about 30% of it.
All right.
well,
All right. So if you want to grab yourself some Blu-rays,
if you want to watch something else,
Does
Yeah.
Nathan have any final thoughts?
he did.
He
said
started this whole
Sorry,
thing.
I missed it.
How to Train Your Dragon, Zach's favorite movie of the
didn't
year
listen.
so far. Yeah. This is
The Hidden
John
World
Wick
3 right here.
It's
How to-
Blu-ray and
Wow,
4K.
yeah, it's also a dragon.
This is the reason we need to even do this list is Crank in 4K.
Yeah.
Everybody should
Oh,
own
man.
it.
When is Crank 2 coming out?
I hope it's soon.
Because I'm buying that.
I'm surprised they didn't just do them together.
I and they probably will put a set together.
Yeah.
I would hope. Isn't it romantic? The Upside, Earthquake Collector's Edition, and The Hunted. The Hunted, by the way, is a great ninja movie from the 80s.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
thinking-
it's not the Benicio del Toro.
That's the one I was
Tommy Lee
thinking, Tommy
Jones
Lee
thing,
Jones movie,
which is
yeah.
also really.
That's
great.
also a good movie. Yeah.
and with a great knife battle.
Oh,
Okay,
man, that was so good.
it's really good.
Okay.
Comics?
Comics this week from Marvel. We have Avengers number 19, Doctor Strange 14, Marvel Comics Presents number 5, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 6, and Venom number 14. In DC, we have Action Comics number 1011, Batgirl number 35, Detective Comics number 1004, Flash number 71, and Wonder Woman number 71. In other books, we have Clue Candlestick number 1, which is based on the game, G.I. Joe All American Heroes number 262, Road of Bones number 1, Savage Dragon number 244, and Star Trek Q Conflict 4 of 6, which has all the main principal pre-Enterprise captains. So
that's cool.
Yeah, TOS, Next Gen, DS9, Voyager.
That's
all
what
in that
Q's
one.
good for.
Yeah.
He's the what if of Star Trek.
So I don't have a comic thing to really go into as much right now, but adjacent, I played mostly and finished the PS4 Spider-Man
I saw
game.
you post that.
It's so good.
The ending was pretty
Oh,
epic.
it's so heartstring wrenching, and the way Spider-Man is at its best, and it
gotta
was
play this.
super well done, and it is a lot of fun. It is very much, if you like the Batman Arkham games, play style is very similar to that, and I think it works well for that. You do have my favorite part was when Spider-Man was being stealthy, because I was not great at the combat, but I was super good at that.
All right.
So gameplay is fun, and it just takes some learning to get used to. I love the costumes in it. That's my favorite part of any Spider-Man game. And I
Yeah,
have my,
because you open them up through gameplay, right?
yeah, that's the only thing. And it's like I wish I had a cheat code to get all of them at the beginning.
Right.
But you do unlock them, and I changed my outfits throughout most of it. I did wish, and I understand, there's a plot outfit you have to wear for the last fight, and I wish I was able to wear the suit I was wearing for the last fight instead. But I get it. I haven't played any of the DLC yet. My understanding is it's not as good, but I am super excited for a sequel.
I can't wait to play this game.
Okay, so what really sucks is I could have swore I thought I saw Crank 2 4K.
I have not heard anything about Crank 2 4K.
No?
There is no information on Crank 2 4K.
All right.
Keep listening here, and we'll tell you when it comes
I'll
out.
tell you. All right, we've been here long enough. We'll see all you guys next week. Nico, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Nico Scream. And if you're going to MomoCon in Atlanta, Georgia this weekend, I will be there.
Oh, yeah.
Repping the local Tennessee convention, the Middle Tennessee Anime Convention. Will be at a booth. And I'll also just be around the game room and whatnot. It's a fantastic event. If you're in the Atlanta area, if you like games, you like cartoons, comics, check it out.
Nice. All right, Zach, you got something?
You can find me on Instagram. I am Master of the Matrix 91, and you can find me on Steam. A Dangerous Me and Lunatic. I'm replaying Skyrim because it's been You
don't need a reason to replay Skyrim.
7 years?
Just
It's
replay
been 7
Skyrim.
years since I played that game.
I don't need a reason when I replay Skyrim. I just like Skyrim.
replay
I actually haven't finished the whole thing. I played for like 8 hours.
Like,
and just stopped.
3/4 of everyone who's played Skyrim never finishes Skyrim.
It's like Grand Theft Auto. No one finishes
I
it.
finished Grand Theft. Well, I didn't completely. I finished the main story of Grand Theft Auto. I would like to finish the main story of Skyrim.
Nathan?
Find me at Instagram, NateR70. Find me here sometimes. And yeah, Key West all next week.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, so find me at everything Culture Smash, mostly Culture Smash on Facebook and Culture Smash TV on Instagram. Also, Family of Fear. Family of Fear. Yeah, get on that Facebook and give us a like. And also, we now have an Instagram page for Four Cone Films, which is featuring the Family of Fear stuff. And if you really had no other reason to follow it, you should follow it because the first picture I posted is one of me and Zach on a step and repeat where I forgot to zoom it out and crop Zach out of the picture.
No, you cropped me out of the picture. You forgot to add me in the photo. It's like, who's that guy on the left there?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's called the producer, I guess, doesn't get
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.